Wife got HIV from multiple secret affairs, so I had to do this. Me, 37M, and my wife, 37F, have been married for 12 years, together for 16, we met in college, we have a 6-year-old, we've been saving since forever and we bought our first house last year. Things have been rocky, but we've managed to have a long-lasting relationship. I don't even know what to call D-Day at this point, the truth is so muddled. Is it the first time I found out something was going on months ago? Is it last week, last night, or maybe it's today? Maybe D-Day was last year. It started the way these things always start. My wife was up late on her phone texting someone, maybe it was family, maybe it was friends, but it felt off. She had been very protective and secretive of her phone, but I had an opportunity and I took it while she was in the shower. She had been flirting semi-brazenly with her coworker, Jack Harkness. I don't know how else to describe it. You could tell it was a new friendship, but she was being bold, much bolder than I'm used to from her, and a little sexual. I confronted her about it. She said she didn't think she did anything wrong, it was just a coworker. She was mad at me for snooping. A week later, as she's getting ready in the morning, she leaves her phone on the nightstand, locked, but a notification pops up, from Jack, at 5 in the morning. I don't want to wake up my son, so I don't confront her. I suck at confrontation anyways. I talked to my therapist about it that afternoon. He says I need to confront her about it, and ask her what's going on, ask her to see her phone, and I do. She gets home. I ask her to see her phone, she says no, she has a right to privacy. I ask her if she's been talking to him, she says he's messaged her maybe 2 or 3 times. I insist on seeing it, she tells me I'm imagining things and I need to get help to get over this. I tell her that's fine, I will seek help for this. After I see her phone, finally she relents. 2 or 3 times is 50 to 100 messages over the last 2 weeks, but they seem innocuous enough, but still, she lied about them. We go to counseling, again. We had gone previously when our child was first born. For about 6 months, our counselor laid out a plan for reconciliation but required her to cut communication with him, and a commitment to take divorce off the table from me. My wife says she doesn't like our counselor anymore. We never go back again. Maybe D-Day was last week. My wife is texting all morning with her friends. I see her PIN to unlock her phone. At this point, I'm still suspicious, and it's eating me up. I get 30 seconds of time where she leaves her phone out of sight, and I unlock it, just enough time to see she's texting him again. But the name has been changed, now it's Harkness J. I don't get a chance to see the messages. I talk to her. I ask her if she's still talking with Jack. She is, she says, but there's nothing there, he's just a friend, and I never asked her not to talk to him. She said she needed to talk to him because they work together. I don't ask to see the text messages, she doesn't offer. At this point, does it matter? Would it help? Maybe D-Day was last night. All day yesterday, she was in a mood, upset, anxious, avoiding me. Last night while she's asleep, I take her phone from her nightstand. My heart is racing. What if she wakes up? Why am I snooping? What will I find? I feel shame and anxiety. I enter the PIN, incorrect, too few digits this time. Her new PIN is longer. Well, fuck. At this point, I decide to sleep on the couch. She wakes up and comes downstairs, asks me if everything is okay. I tell her I have a headache, true, at this point, and I'm feeling nauseous, also true. She asks me if I have a fever, if I have COVID. I assure her I don't, just a sinus headache. She asks me to come up to bed and asks me to tell her what's wrong. I tell her I think she's having an affair. She says she would never do that. She asks if this is about that other guy. I ask her why she flirts with him. She says because it's fun. That's where it ends. My headache gets the best of me and I tell her I want to sleep. I guess today is D-Day. I'm so tired, emotionally and physically. I'm tired of the leaky faucet of trickle truth. I'm tired of the cell phone nuclear football. I'm tired of being paranoid and knowing I'm always just half right and come away feeling like an asshole. I don't know what to say when she gets home. I'm terrible at confrontation. I just want to end this nightmare. Update: I sat my wife down and explained to her that at this point, I'm ready to move on and I want a divorce. She told me that this thing with her coworker was nothing, and this is a ridiculous thing to want a divorce over. She offered to show me the text messages between them, and I accepted, but I was skeptical. It's so easy now to delete messages if they aren't actual SMS messages sent from the carrier, and these were not. The messages I saw were tame, but still not appropriate. She messaged him repeatedly, He flirted relentlessly over innocuous things. At one point on Thanksgiving Day she said, "The turkey is in the oven," and he replied, "That's so hot." Sick. Another time, a week ago, she texted him around bedtime saying that she was going to have another drink because it had been a long day for her, and he replied, "I am so turned on right now. I'm frustrated because I feel like I'm in a weird limbo right now." There's definitely proof of inappropriate behaviors there. She's been hiding this relationship, gaslighting me, but what I've seen isn't necessarily a smoking gun. The texts are inappropriate but not conclusively sexual, and also don't make sense in context, unless he's just a weird pervert. There was nothing explicit from her end, and she definitely wasn't flirting back, but also wasn't unreceptive to his advances. She begged me to reconsider, and I said no. She begged me again to reconsider, and again I said no. I was firm. She begged me a dozen times. She finally asked me for just 2 counseling sessions. At this point, I relented. I said, "Fine, just a couple sessions. If I'm not convinced that we can make it work, I'm ending things though." So here I am, not the satisfying update I was hoping for, but an update is an update. Update: as I mentioned in my last post, my wife asked me to reconsider and go to marriage counseling. I agreed, but only because I needed to buy some time to think about what my next steps should be. I've been active on this sub, trying to be supportive of others while also sorting out my own thoughts. My wife has continued to pretend like nothing is really wrong. She's been very affectionate towards me, wanting to kiss and cuddle constantly. She's frustrated when I decline, when we argue about the issue, and she asks if I think she's cheating on me, and I said yes. She said she was insulted, and she doesn't understand why I can't trust her, because she lied, because she admitted to deleting some of the text messages, because she's treating the privacy of this friendship as something sacred. She cried and said that she didn't deserve to be treated like this. Since I didn't have any evidence of anything beyond an emotional affair, I felt that I had to give my wife a chance to come clean and start towards reconciliation. I came up with 2 simple requirements for me to stay and work with the marriage counselor. 1. Cease contact with the AP. 2. Unlock her phone and allow me to view all messages between her and him. She initially agreed. Since then, she has walked back both conditions. She's still texting with him, although she insists that it's friendly, but she's also not allowing me to view the messages, or anything else, on her phone. On Friday I reached out to a divorce lawyer. I have a meeting scheduled for the end of the month. I was hoping to get an opportunity to gather evidence of something more than just flirty text messages. I live in an at-fault state, so that would be helpful for me during the separation. I'm debating discussing it with AP's spouse. I don't have any proof to provide her that something inappropriate is happening between my wife and her husband. Just, look, they're being inappropriate, but maybe that's worth telling her. I'm ready to move on. This marriage is a lost cause. Update: after my last update, all the feedback suggested that I needed to be more direct with my spouse about the situation. I've already contacted a lawyer. We're working on divorce paperwork now. In the meantime, I contacted the AP's spouse and shared the known truth and only the known truth with her. I wanted to allow her to draw her own conclusions, and I did not want to open myself up to a potential lawsuit from the AP for slander. The other spouse was wonderful. She took the news well and seriously. She was concerned about my situation, and said she was nervous and unsure about how to approach this. She said she would speak to her husband, and I wished her well. Obviously, my wife found out, and she was livid. She accused me of ruining their marriage, destroying her friendship, and threatening her job. After that, she told me that she doesn't even recognize me anymore, and that she's seriously worried about my mental health right now. I've been very calm through this whole process. I have been practicing the divorce 180. I told her that I feel fine, and I understand she's upset, but there's nothing more to talk about this. I did what I did, and I can't change the past, not that I want to. She's come home from work sobbing, saying that there are rumors going around at work. She blames me for that, even though I haven't discussed this with anyone at her job. If there are rumors, they're coming from the AP. She should be angry with him. She also told me that she spoke with AP, and that they're going to reconcile their marriage and be alright. She asked me to no longer speak to the spouse. Now that we're fully on board the divorce train, she's become petty and vindictive. She calls me an asshole. She's called me lazy, apathetic, and a liar. She tells me she's the only one who really cared in the marriage, and that she feels like I'm a monster for breaking up AP's marriage, which contradicts her earlier claim. At this point, The AP spouse had sent me one final note. If I had seen what you saw, I would have told you as well. You don't need to apologize for anything. I've decided to save these messages to provide to my divorce lawyer. All in all, I feel like I'm handling this really well. She's really showing her true colors and making this so much easier for me, but the divorce process will likely be very rough. She's trying to manipulate me and gaslight me, she's trying to paint me as a horrible person, and I'm responding with patience and perspicacity, and that's really deflating her ego balloon. The more she does this, the better I feel about pursuing a divorce. All the energy I spent towards trying to make her happy by doing the impossible is instead going towards my relationship with my son, which has grown by leaps and bounds. I'm tired, mentally. I'm completely exhausted by all of the lies and denials. I'm not looking forward to a holiday season spent with a bitter spouse, but this too shall pass.